I'm Norman Robinson, and welcome to Affordable Housing Matters. On today's show, we look to offer a helping hand by providing valuable information to those affected by the tornadoes and other storms or natural disasters. Our first guest today is a lifelong resident of St. Bernard Parish. He has served as a teacher, a coach, a businessman, a councilman at large, and now he's the big chief. He's the parish president of St. Bernard Parish, Mr. Guy McGinnis. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Norm.
You're welcome. And Mr. President, I want to first convey my sympathies and my heartfelt condolences for the devastation that your parish has experienced. Let me first begin by asking you how you're doing.
Oh, we're doing fine. You know, we're keeping busy. We don't have enough time in the day to sit back and think about what's happening. So with the debris removal, all of the different conversations we're having with state and federal officials, we don't have a whole lot of time to just think about what happened. But at some point in time, when all of this is slowed down a little bit, I'm sure we're going to reflect. But right now, it's just time to continue to work.
Yeah, I saw you doing one of the interviews to one of the television stations, and you got quite emotional. Yeah. I was concerned about your particular mental and physical state of mind.
I really appreciate that. You know, and my friends was, hey man, are you okay?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, when you talk about you know, where you grew up, and you start seeing the, let me tell you, the spirit of these people who have been affected, homes lost, lives changed, that they're ready to get to work, they're ready to come back, they're ready to get back, their children in school, and it's uplifting actually. So yeah, it's a little, every now and then.
Yeah, as an old newsman, I couldn't resist the temptation to drive through to look at the devastation. I just couldn't imagine being in that position. I felt for them worse than I did for the residents who were, damaged by the flood from Hurricane Katrina, because at least they had a house to go back to. Although they had to gut it and clean it out, at least they had a house to go back to. These people didn't have a house to go back to. They were walking around, you know, in the middle of something that looked like Armageddon.
It really was. The one thing though that we didn't have in Katrina is that, you know, the neighbor across the street or one block over can help, and that's what was happening. And you know, people were just helping each other along with the awesome precision work in all of this chaos by our first responders, our firefighters, and our sheriff's deputies, working along with neighbors, helping neighbors was a miracle. You know, we had one death. That's one is too many. Yeah. But let me tell you, you've driven through it. The destruction path is amazing that we only had one death. Now we had the little girl with a ventilator whose house moved about 50 feet in the middle of the street. That was incredible. Yeah. That young lady passed away yesterday.
Did? Oh my God. My condolences.
We're not, you know, it doesn't really matter if it was directly related to the tornado. She's a victim, and our thoughts and prayers are with both of those victims today.
Give us a sense, an overview sense of the damage, the overall damage in Arabi.
Well, numbers, right? 41 totally destroyed homes, 96 major structural damage, another 126 with minor damage, and we have about 500 homes that were affected. And that other category, it might be a vehicle or a mobile home that's on their property, a fence gone, or a roof line in their on their property. So we have a lot of work to do ahead of us here. Pretty soon, once the debris is removed, which our contractors and our public works employees are doing an unbelievable job, and getting this started this quick with the state response with the Governor Edwards is unbelievable, and the federal delegation. You know, we have Cedric and Mitch in the White House now, and
that's a good thing.
And they have really come through for us. And Jill Biden called us in St. Bernard. And
oh, did he?
Jill, the first lady.
Jill, the first lady. Okay.
So, but you know, for him, and he's a little busy right now. but you know, just seeing everybody come together and us being in the middle of it and trying to make it happen, and the relationships that we've built over the last few years, it's heartwarming to see. But we're in the middle of it, and the work, the real work with housing and getting people back in their homes, especially the ones that lost their entire home, is going to be a challenge.
Talk about how that's going.
You know, right now we have some contractors on the ground right now. It's not enough that are helping these homeowners and these citizens. Insurance, adjusters. You know, do we demolish the house? Do we not demolish the house? Can we repair it? Do you have structural damage? Talk about a mental challenge for some of that was the same as Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
The good thing about this one is, you know, it's a small area. Adjusters have basically already been out to a lot of those homes. But we're working through that. We have a right of entry form for our parish that we work with the state. We don't have to meet the FEMA guidelines on private property. So that is going better than expected. But our citizens are now trying to find contractors, trying to find estimates, and trying to get their money from the insurance so that they can repair their homes or rebuild their homes.
Is there a central location that will walk them through the process of finding you know, how to reach out to their insurance and how to reach out to the federal government? Because I remember during Katrina, that was a major problem.
It was, and remember, you know, it's a lot of people, but it's only, let's say, 200 people that really need assistance. Talked to Jim Donlan before we came on today. He is at Patricia Park with staff today. Okay. Meeting with people with insurance problems. Right now, with the actual rebuild and repair of homes, you're going to be talking a little bit, I believe. I'm
going to be talking to Marcus Campo from the Home Builders Association.
So they're going to be setting up something, and I've just learned this today, I believe next week, and that is wonderful for our citizens to be able to attend that meeting. But Patricia Park is right in the middle of the devastated area. That's where people can go and they can get a lot of assistance, whatever it may be. We have a website, sbpg.net, our parish government website, that has a splash page and a donation button. And you get to list what your needs are. Okay. And Gillis McCluskey, our council member in that district, is heading all of that up. He's doing a great job. We will know each residence by address, by name, and what their needs are.
So this is really detailed. This is a detailed procedure.
It really is. Starting from the day after, when the fire marshal, the tax 2 force from Baton Rouge came in along with our firefighters and did an assessment of all 500 homes that were affected. So we have that information, and we're going to double that information up with what we hear from the citizens. So, you know, we really appreciate everything that everyone's doing to get us there, but we do know that there's going to be a point in time where we're going to have a serious housing need. For how many people, we don't know, but we want to make sure that we're ready from the state level and local level to assist.
You know, St. Bernard Parish, I've done a bunch of shows on affordable housing and where those houses, where that housing is located. St. Bernard was experiencing a resurgence, and most of that resurgence was or a good bit of it was taking place in Arabi. So how does this impact that?
You know, hearing from, like I said earlier, you know, everyone's excited to rebuild. You know, they're not going anywhere. You know, and that's what's happening. You know, Arabi, St. Claude Heights area, which is on the north side of what happened here. You know, it was the 6th largest growing community in the nation right before the census. After the census, it's the largest growing area in the state of Louisiana. Wow. So I don't expect that to change. The other side of it is the old Arabi neighborhood. Those people, they're not going anywhere. So I expect that these people are going to come back. Our citizens are going to come back. They're staying with family for as long as they can. You know, that doesn't last long. They're going to need some housing soon. We've been through that. But I tell you, the spirit is there. I believe the contractors will be there soon, and people will be able to start getting back. The important thing for us, what we learned from Katrina, is to make sure people are close to their homes or on their property while they're rebuilding. So we're trying to make that happen so people don't leave.
So are we talking about FEMA trailers, possibly?
We're looking at a lot of that right now for Ida. There's a lot of FEMA trailers in the bayou parishes that might be available. We're talking to GOSEP. We're asking whether or not we can purchase trailers. It's not going to be a whole lot, you know, in the grand scheme of things, 30, 40 maybe, that we can put on their property while they rebuild. So we're going through all of that right now, and you know, Pam Williams, you're talking about the housing. She was director of housing in St. Bernard. She's not there now. She had a personal medical issue, but she's from the city of New Orleans. So her staff is well versed in all of this stuff. So I feel confident that we're going to be able to meet the citizens' needs.
Let's talk about the economic impact now on the businesses that may have been affected.
We had about 5, maybe 6 businesses that were affected. Those businesses are going to come back stronger than they were before. I'm not worried about them. Their spirit is there. They're already back in business, you know, to a certain degree. So, and actually all of the people that are coming down and helping, you know, people are sending money. Rocky and Carlos, I was talking to Tommy the other day. People are just giving him money to make food to the area. Well, you know, he's got money left over already, and it's kind of slowed down, so he's getting gift cards, and the trust that people are giving into some of our old businesses is incredible. So I don't worry about the economic impact as it pertains to businesses as much as I do the housing issue and keeping people in St. Bernard Parish while it's happening.
You mentioned earlier, as you were talking at the beginning of our interview, about the right of entry. Do you need a right of entry if you're just coming in to help?
Volunteers, no. You know, of course, we don't want people going on anyone's property without their permission. We're dealing with that issue too.
I can imagine.
Some looting.
Looting?
Well, not as much as we thought we would, but it happens, Norman. You know.
Yeah, it's human nature, I suppose.
And going through the piles. You know, that's people's stuff. So we don't even want them going through the piles that we push to the street. So we want our volunteers to help as much as they can, but make sure you have permission. But for government and for our contractors to go on private property to help citizens move all of this debris out, we need to have a right of entry sign by the homeowner. We're doing that. We're not having a problem at all. The only problem we're having is it's slowing us up when insurance companies aren't telling these homeowners whether or not it's a demo or not. Yeah, well, so that's a good problem to have. You know, we're just sitting there waiting to get the approval.
Well, thank you for sharing with us, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and the residents of Araby. And come back and see us and let us know about your progress.
Thank you, Norman. God bless.
God bless. You're welcome. When we return, we will speak with a representative from the Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans and to find out how they plan to help rebuild homes in St. Bernard Parish. So don't go far.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
The Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans has promoted, protected, and advanced the construction industry in our area since way back in 1941. Joining me now to discuss how they are looking to protect the individuals whose communities were ravaged by the tornado over the past few weeks is Mr. Marcus Campo of the Home Builders Association of Greater New Orleans and the owner of NOLA Build Construction and Design. Mr. Campo, welcome to Affordable Housing Matters.
Thank you for having me.
Don't have to ask you what you'll be doing for the next several weeks, do we?
No, no. We're hard at it.
I can imagine your hands are full. So where do you begin, and what is the process like when dealing with a significant widespread damage like what we're seeing down in Arabi right now?
So, you know, homeowners should be looking to get in contact with a qualified professional. The HBA has a website with a member directory at hbagno.org where they can reach out and find the contact information for someone. You know, when you find a qualified professional, they'll kind of help you walk through the process. Most of these contractors are going to want you to sign a contract with them, which is what you should want as well, but it should be detailed and describing the scope of work that's going to be performed to your home. They also may require a deposit to have you scheduled, which is normal.
So that is normal.
Yeah, you just don't want to, you want to make sure you're not paying beyond what work's been done or paying in full before the work's complete.
So how difficult is that likely to be in light of the fact that I'm still seeing tarps on roofs after Hurricane Ida?
It's going to be very difficult. You know, there's labor shortages, material shortages, you know, and to get through the process, you really just want to find, you know, a professional who can help you with it.
And do you guys have a list of professionals that people can use as a reference?
Absolutely, yeah. That would be on our website at the hbagno.org.
How does that work? Are these people that have been vetted by you?
Yes. So, you know, most of our members are involved in the community, are going extra step to make sure they're in an organization like the HBA that promotes quality business practices and advanced building procedures and things that you would want, you know, as an asset going through your own home rebuilding process.
So what would you tell me as a resident with a house that was badly damaged or just destroyed during the cleanup process? What should I be doing? Is there any particular method I should be practicing?
I think safety is important, you know, being aware of your surroundings and damages to your home or nearby structures, making sure you're wearing protective clothing, eyewear, gloves, masks for dust and debris and mold, if spores and stuff you may come in contact with. But also, you should try to reach out to a professional again once before, as soon as possible, so they can help you to make sure that you're walking into a safe situation and doing things properly. You probably would want to take photos immediately of any damages and remove any items, contents that were damaged, kind of start taking a list of those items to let your insurance company know what losses you've had as well.
But in a situation, Mr. Campo, like where a house is just gone, you walk and there's nothing left, you know, but the slab.
Right.
I mean, do you anticipate any problems from the insurance company in a situation like that?
Well,
you take a picture and says, okay,
right.
What's your damage? This is my damage.
Well, luckily, you know, in a way, those people will probably have the least issues with dealing with the insurance carrier going forward. It becomes a little more convoluted when you're dealing with a structure that's partially damaged or or showing damages that are hard to determine without someone like maybe even a structural engineer coming to the property to assess certain damages.
So I dealt with a structural engineer during Hurricane Katrina. So is that advisable if, in a situation like that, for you to reach out to a structural engineer so you can have the documentation you need to negotiate with the insurance company?
There's a protocol as far as with the carrier of someone they may get out there, but you also want someone kind of on your side as well to make sure
you need an advocate.
Right, to watch your own back.
Yeah, there's an old saying, you know, don't go into that dark room without ammunition, and don't attempt to negotiate with an insurance company without the proper ammunition.
100%.
We all learned that from personal experience during Hurricane Katrina. We've been talking about the things from the residential side. What about from your vantage point, the home builders side? What kind of challenges are home builders up against in a situation like this?
You know, we have to coordinate with local government as far as cleanup response, utility companies for repairing and having the network re-energized as far as electrical. So, you know, some of the homes that we've come into contact with for some of our clients, we had to make some quick repairs so that they could get power back and water and all of those needed utilities. But, you know, just coordinating those efforts with all of the right people, and then once again dealing with material and labor shortages that are already existent for the last couple of years in our area.
Parish President Guy McGinnis was on the show before you, and he was talking about the desire to keep the residents inside St. Bernard Parish, and he said he talked to you about some special program that the Home Builders Association had established towards that end.
Yeah. So
can you share that with us?
Yeah, so on April the 7th, we're going to be at Nunez Community College in our community, and we will have an event there where contractors will be. Residents of St. Bernard can come and speak with these contractors and maybe get some good advice. We're also going to have Councilman McCluskey from that district that was you know, damaged, as well as Mr. Merritt Landry, who is with the permitting office. They're kind of helping to direct people as well.
Now, I know the situation right now where people are willing to help, they're willing to take in their relatives, but there comes a time when, you know, you get tired of your sister-in-law.
Right.
You know, your uncle starts getting on your nerve.
Absolutely.
So what kind of help can you offer? You offer people in situations like that, Mr. Campbell?
Well, in St. Bernard, I believe they're looking into some additional housing availability, and then most insurance policies, you will have an ALE involved with your policy, to where that should give the homeowner additional living expenses to use while their home's being repaired, or while they're waiting for it to be repaired.
Do you anticipate any supply chain issues? Because I know, like, for little simple jobs, like I'm trying to redo a deck. Right. And like people saying, okay, well, we don't have that kind of, you know, access to supply right now. Right. So are we looking at a very lengthy process? Yeah,
I mean, most likely, you know. Most of the work, repair work, I think can probably be done and get it to a point at least. It's just they're probably not looking at being 100% put back together within a short period of time due to those challenges. You know, we waiting 6 months or more for windows, doors, and, you know, all types of aspects and materials in building right now are just unavailable, or have delivery times where we're not even given an actual date
Wow.
So it's just open-ended of we'll get it to you when it becomes available.
So I might have to just live with sister-in-law for a while.
Yeah, get comfy.
Get comfortable with Uncle Joe.
Right. But we'll, if you find someone to help you through the process that knows it, it will help speeding up the process.
I looked at the range of damage to the structures, and a lot of them were just torn apart and left like matchsticks.
Right.
Is there some kind of building code that can be introduced where houses can be constructed to withstand the winds and the force from tornadoes?
Yeah, there's many of different building practices for homes, especially these days. A lot of new technology and materials have been developed for those instances. There may not necessarily be a requirement of a code at this point in our state. So, and building up to code is what's suggested, but you can always take an extra step into looking into those practices, those advanced building practices.
Is that something that you would advise going forward? I mean, when it's
Sure, it could definitely help in these types of situations and others. Another challenge right now is the cost of building materials. So, just to build back at normal, requirements can be very, very costly at these times, and you add additional requirements for a home, and it usually introduces new additional costs as well.
So we're going to be looking at this several months down the road, if not a year or
for some
a couple
people,
of years.
Probably.
Yeah. So what do I do in the meantime, Mr. Campbell?
As far as a resident, I think you just need to have a conversation with your family and decide, how best you can suit yourselves moving forward. Some people may have family, like you spoke of, to stay with, and some will have to find additional living facilities for the time being, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Are there enough home builders? Do we have enough home builders in the area?
I believe we have enough home builders. I know quite a few, but many of them were already stressed from these past storm events. So, getting with one as quickly as possible is what's going to benefit you the most right now. Making sure they are knowledgeable and experienced in our region as well is important,
Well, thank you for joining us, and I'm sure your information has been very helpful to those viewers who are watching, who might be in the situation that we've been discussing, and good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
And you're going to be under the microscope,
Yeah.
All right. Good luck with that.
Absolutely.
All right. For all of those who are in need of assistance or know someone affected by these recent storms and are in need of assistance, please reach out to the St. Bernard Parish office at www.sbpg.net or call 504-278-4200. Donations are also being accepted through these resources as well. And that will do it for us here today on Affordable Housing Matters. If you would like to watch or rewatch any of the past episodes of our program, please scan the QR code displayed on the screen. That code will take you right to the WLAE YouTube page, where you can view this and all past episodes of our program. We want to thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time on Affordable Housing Matters.